Okay guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about how people are painting themselves into a corner with their own businesses. Their own businesses aren't their own businesses. And I think of kind of 1STMAN, my scenario, the way I've set it up. I could have got investment a long time ago, I chose not to. I could get investment for the streaming platform, I've chosen not to. The reason being is I don't want somebody else to be my boss, call the shots, tell me what to do. You know, the way I see it is that it might take 3 or 4 years longer to get to where I want to get, but once it gets there, it's 100% all mine. And then whatever money we make could be 100% all mine after you pay the employees. But nobody's telling me that this, you know, I don't come up with content and then somebody says, oh, it's not very PC. Like the one I made the other day about white guys, black guys, and Asian guys. I'm going to do a part 2 on that soon. It got great reviews. Whereas if I had a PR team, I know 100% they would have said, don't do it. Don't do it. If I had an agent, they would have said, don't do it. If I had to ask my staff, they would have said, don't do it. You know, but the reaction from you guys was fantastic and everybody agreed to all the points that were made. And there wasn't a hint of racism in the whole video, but it would have been perceived that way by a PR team or whatever, or board of directors. So I've allowed myself to be free. And what will happen is a lot of people create a business and they'll complain about the lack of time that they have. They're busier now than ever, or you know, they're less happy. They were happier when they had a 9-to-5 job. You know, things are crazy now. The stress is too much. What they've done is they've really fucked up. They've painted themselves into a hypothetical corner where, let's say you own a PR firm or a marketing firm, okay? So I'm very familiar with marketing. I could easily create a marketing firm tomorrow. It's what I used to do in 9-to-5 jobs. It's what I still do for 1STMAN on a daily basis. I could offer marketing consultancy, you know, which I still do to certain companies, but I could do that on a large scale and set up a whole business for it, you know, where I have like 50 clients, whereas I only have like one. I only help, and I help a friend out as well, but I only have like one kind of client that allows me to just do a bare minimum amount of work for what I actually want to do. Whereas if I set up a whole company, a marketing company, and I had something like 17 clients, you've got to keep all 17 of those clients happy. You know, every single one of them wants results. Every single one of them wants something to be done the way that they want it to be done. And you can't run a business like that, because then suddenly it's not your business. Somebody else has ownership. It's like the book by Felix Dennis, How to Get Rich, which changed who I am today. I think it's the most influential book of my life. I think it's probably the best book in the world for entrepreneurs or young men trying to be successful, especially. And I'm going to do a video on this soon, like his golden rules for success, which should be a good video. But he talks about having complete ownership of, number one, as much of the business as possible, and number two, kind of your day and how things go. I just think a really good one is kind of like with videos. So I do a lot of videos, and not a lot of, but we will do in the future a lot of videos for 1STMAN. And I've done projects in the past, video projects, where I've spoken about a certain, where we've done like a certain documentary or a certain video, and then brands have contacted me and said, can you get one of these done for us? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, what we want done is this. We want this to happen in the video. We want you to show our product here and there. You know, can you get that done to your audience? And I'm like, that's not authentic. I'm not doing that. Because now I work for you. You're telling me what to do and I'm delivering on your idea. That's not fun. You know, you're telling me you want this specific video plan. If I get it wrong, you're going to be angry. We're paying you, Chris. We want results. We expect it to be, shut the fuck up. You know, I'm going to make my own products and I'm going to make my own video projects, and I'm going to link the two together so that nobody can tell me what to do. You know, so I'm going to have the men's shirts. I'm going to have another product I don't want to go into detail about yet because it's not done yet. And then I'm going to have the streaming platform, and every single thing there is mine. I own all creative control. No matter what I do, I can do. And like I said the other day with the video I made on the white guys, black guys, and Asian guys, you know, a PR team would have told me not to do that, which is insanity, because the reaction that we got was phenomenal. But so many people will own like a PR firm and then they'll go and get clients. They might have 6 or 7 clients, and those clients are saying, we want this done exactly like this by this date, and I want these results. And if these results aren't achieved, we're going to fire you and get a new PR firm. Like, that's not fun. Suddenly you got KPIs again, you know, you got You've got a performance level to hit. You're working for someone else. You own your own business, but you're working for someone else. Because if they stop paying you, your whole business goes down the drain. And until you get to like a Gary Vee level where you're gigantic and people kind of trust in your process, you could be looking at 5 to 10 years of just hopeless relying on other people's finances to help you out. That's what I love about Dan Bilzerian. I think the guy's a genius. Is every business he sets up, he relies on himself. He never has a boss. He never has anybody telling him what to do. He kind of has his own team of friends around him, but I believe that every decision he makes, he's making himself. And then any business he has, again, he's making all the final decisions himself. He's not ever relying on somebody else for the money. Like, oh, we got this big client account coming in, 3 million if we land this deal. It's like, fuck, now you're relying on somebody else for your decision. Is what I hated about 9 to 5 jobs is that somebody else is deciding whether you're good enough to get hired. Once you are hired, somebody else is deciding whether you're good enough to not be fired. Once you're in that situation, they can decide whether to make your life hell or not every single day. Then they decide how much you get paid. Then they decide when you get a pay rise, when you get a promotion. You know, your entire life is based on their criteria or their expectations for you. And if you wanted to move forward from A to B in 3 years, you know, they can make that 15 years. It's up to them. They decide how quick you move. You could leave the job and go somewhere else, but it would probably be the same. So I just believe, like, when you build a business, make sure you build it in your image and you're not at the mercy of someone else. So there's a lot of people now doing social media marketing. Like Ty Lopez pitched it a few years ago. And a lot of people have built good, successful businesses off of it. But I just don't find that business model fun, where a company is saying, this post only got 50 views. What happened here? Like, I don't need the fucking investigative work of Sherlock Holmes on my back. I don't need that kind of stress when I'm running my own business. You know, I'd rather look at a video and be like, it flopped. Good. I just learned something from it. You know, but you try and convince a client that a video flopping is a good thing, they'll probably fire you. And you don't get that patience. Like, if anybody's familiar with the Premier League and football managers, apart from like 3 managers, most managers get like 2 years to prove themselves and then they're out the door. And you haven't got time to implement your plan, put your own players in place, bring the academy players through and, you know, work on a system that suits what you want to do. And it's the same when you're an entrepreneur and you have clients, is they're not going to give you time to get results. So you can try and convince them of your own methods, but it's so difficult. If you want to run a business like that, like a PR company, I would recommend having like 10 clients at the start and do it for free and just get the testimonials from them and then prove your wacky methods over time. Because if it's free, they're not going to worry. Or do it for a cut price if you need to break even, but just prove your personal wacky methods or whatever you do, you know, your technique, your style of doing things. And then when you do, you'll have the testimonials and then you can call on them in the future. But honestly, guys, everything I build at 1STMAN is so that it's in my full control. Like, I could go and seek investment tomorrow, but I don't want somebody knocking on my fucking door saying, when are we going to sell this shit? Where's my exit strategy? Like, I don't want to hear that. Chris, where's the exit strategy? How can I cash my 2 million investment out as 10 million? When is this going to happen? In 3 years, I expect the cash flow forecast to be around about here, you know, and we should be making X amount of money by 2022. You don't fucking know. Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. All that shit is corporate bollocks. And it will be the same when you got clients. You know, you'll say, by 6 months, we expect to hit these targets for your company, and you'll be bringing in this, which will exponentially increase your revenue by 60%. But it's all fucking numbers. It's all a load of shit, guys. Trust me. All you want to do is you want to have full control and you want to build brands. Don't ever forget that. You want to build brands, good, solid brands. And you want to do it over a long period of time. I remember when my mentor, Martin, ran I Like Girls Daily, there were other guys doing the same websites where it was just like hot girls or the same kind of things on like social media. And he was saying that they even have like similar number of followers to him, but his like count was just like 10 times more than them. And I said, why is that? I said, are you posting hot girls? He was like, no, my brand is so strong. Like, people love my brand. They just trust me. I didn't get it at the time because I was 19, 20 years old. Now at 27, I understand it more than ever. Like, me replying to every single one of your comments, and it is me, believe me. There's no fucking anybody else in this company right now. It's just me replying to everything. and I do like 7, 8, 9 paragraphs long, and I really think about every single comment. That builds brand. That's marketing, you know, and I do it for the right reasons. I'm not doing it so that you go and tell your friends, whatever, but I know that is something that comes off the back of that. And that's what I mean by building brands. Like, all of that matters more, and it's a long-term game. You don't want to play the short-term game, guys. If I want 10 clients, they're all going to pay me $4,000 per month plus retainers. You know, I'm going to do a great job for that. And then they're on your back, and it's stressful, and you've got 6 years of stress, and you might have kids and bills and whatever. That's not a life. If you're going to run your own company, you know, you want that freedom. And I just think that's the ultimate thing to go after. So if you're going to start your own company, guys, from the outset, don't paint yourself into a corner. Don't put your finances or the success of your business at the mercy of other people. Make sure everything you do is on your own time frame. So my shirts right now, I'm getting them made. They're coming from Turkey. I was talking to the guy yesterday, and he said it's going to be like another 2 weeks. If I had investors, they'd be fuming. If I had pre-orders, people would be angry. You know, but I have the kind of spare money in place right now where I can sit on this, and I'm not worried. You know, I'll bring it out a month later. It doesn't matter because I control every aspect. I can be patient, and it will be the same with the streaming platform. You know, if I do 30 episodes, if I do 30 shows on the streaming platform, and the quality is 7 out of 10, and me and the camera crew have done our best, and there's no investors and there's nobody to tell me otherwise, I can still release the streaming platform but do it for free. You know, I can just keep it free until it gets better, until we improve, and that might take 4 or 5 years, but if it does, I still own 100%. But if there was an investor, they'd say, this isn't good enough, this is unacceptable, we might have to bin the whole project. Like, that's how they react. They're irrational. You know, clients would be going crazy. If we had brands sponsoring the streaming platform, like at the top or something, like a big Hugo Boss banner, they'd be fuming because they'd be like, this content isn't what we expected. We want our money back. Like, you don't need that kind of stress. Just keep everything in your own control. It's better to be a music artist with 20,000 fans keeping 100% of your album sales and your show sales than it is to be, you know, like Tiger working for Birdman at Young Money and picking up like 1% of your total sales from like Rack City because everyone else is taking the rest. You could have been worth 4 million just off that one song. Instead, they pay you like 40,000. Like, it's much better to be the guy that has 20,000 fans, isn't that famous, but is keeping 100% of the profits. And that's where you want to be, guys. That everything is independence, everything is ownership. You tick those 2 boxes, and then you sprinkle a bit of patience, you're off to the races.